Baku is built different. We have tight and narrow streets. Here in the capital city, we have castle walls, but the main sight to see today, Formula One cars moving at rapid speed. Baku City Circuit then, it's an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Stroll, Hamilton, Perez, Verstappen, Norris, Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Gasly, Albon, Sargent, Tsunoda, Zhou, Bottas, and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And Anthony Davidson joins us for this one. And great to have your company. There's no weather to worry about here. What will be going through the drivers' minds as they finish these last-minute preparations?
Well,
Okay, so let's go through all the gears if you can. We need to make sure the engagement is okay before the start. We're going to want to put some temperature into the tyres and brakes. We need to keep the engine cool though, so don't go too high with the revs. So weather shouldn't play a factor today. We're expecting it to remain dry all the way through. Okay, so not an ideal parking spot, but let's try and get a good launch upon the race start. Decent parking. Let's try and get a good launch as the lights go. you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please. Okay, we've got a full course caution. The safety car's out. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Understood, copy that. You've got to give that position back, mate. We're under safety car conditions and you can't overtake. Return the position. Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember there's no overtaking until the timing line. Safety car in this lap. Turn the position immediately or we're going to get picked. You've got to give that position. Return the position immediately or we're going to get penalised. There's no overtaking during the safety car period. Logan's coming in for his stop now. Okay, clear. Got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. And the gap behind us is 2.0 seconds. There's a new strategy available on the MFT. Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us. Now look, I've put a new strategy option for you in the MFD, so go and have a look. Okay, safety car deployed, safety car's been deployed. Watch your delta, make sure you keep it positive as we catch the pack. Okay, watch your pace. We've informed the safety car is out. There appears to have been an issue with multiple stock vehicles on the track. Okay mate, don't worry about the damage. I've got some new strategy options if you go and check your MFD. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Copy that. Okay, off we go, back into the race. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. look bad. Are you all right? Let me know you're okay. Safety car in this lap, safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags. Green flag. Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay. There's been an incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful. If you think you can get past, make use of the overtake button and see what you can do. Okay, that was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals. Well, what happened? Let me know you're okay. Are you all right? Engine off, engine off. Okay, good work. Great pass. DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled. Okay, there's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are so far no plans for... Okay, so the gap to the car ahead, 3.8 seconds. a new fastest lap of the race. Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please. Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap. That looked bad. Are you all right? Let me know you're okay. The Mercedes drivers just moved into first place. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
They're heading to the top step of the podium in Baku. They've negotiated the old city walls. They're the winner. So after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
There's a few contenders, but George Russell definitely stood out, I think. A really solid drive from him today, and one I'm sure the fans enjoyed.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who's joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.